Hello. Yep. Yeah, it's me. What do you mean, where have I been? I've been right here, man. You see my videos up once or twice a week. What do you mean I'm not there? I did all kinds of shit. I did the thing on Roman Reigns. I did the thing, telling the truth about Naomi. You saw all the heat I got for that. I mean, I just did Ask the Phoenix for August. I mean, you know how great my fans are. They're not going to let that thing die. No, I haven't done a Raw review in a little bit. Man, it's only been like 2 weeks. Like, cut me some slack. What do you mean, why? Like, ultimately, it's my channel. I can do a Raw review or not do a Raw review if I want. Okay, you want to know why? Here's the deal. I'm selfish, alright? Like, that's the thing. I wanted to take a few weeks, because I think the show's actually been really good in the past little while. I wanted to sit back, I wanted to enjoy the show without taking notes, without having the Doomy clipboard of Doom in my hand. You know what that thing's like. It's looking ratty. I gotta get a new one soon anyway. But yeah, like, the other half of it, like, it's starting to get pointless. Like, no matter how great the show is, no matter how much I enjoy the show, freaking, there's no point in coming up in here and talking about it. You know how the haters are. You know how the haters are, man. The guys that, like, rant about wrestling for views and all that shit, so they'll find the most little minute thing and make that the whole fucking show. Like, man, come on. Yeah, okay, I know you want me to do a Raw review. Yeah, I know there's big things going on, alright? But, like, you can't be positive in this community. You know that. I mean, you know this better than I do. Look what happens to your videos. I know. Raw's on, like, any minute now. It looks like it's gonna be great. I mean, there's a couple odd things here and there. Like, it could be a good show. I would love to review it if I thought there was a point, but, like, like I said, if I go tell these guys, well, not these guys, because, like, my fans are great, but you know how the haters will, like, seek out positivity and try to destroy it. Okay, give me the rundown. Dudley's versus New Day, alright, that could be good. They're doing a rematch of Cesaro versus Owens. I mean, you know how the YWC is. Even a good thing like that, they're going to say, we've seen it too many times or something like that. What else? What else you got? Okay, Sting's going to be there? Great. Rollins is working double duty at No Way Out? No, not No Way Out. Oh, your connection's bad, buddy. At Night of Champions? That could be good. That could be really good. We got a three-way situation developing between New Day and the Dudleys and PTP. That could be See, there you go. Ziggler. Like, that's a fun little storyline with women that aren't really part of the women's division, but they're still gonna bitch about it. It doesn't matter if the match is good. You know that. If the match is good, they'll bitch about the story. If the story's good, they'll bitch about the match. Okay, what are the other divas doing? Say what? There's an actual #1 contender. And we got a story to get us there. How'd they get us there? They did a Beat the Clock challenge. They usually reserve that for the WWE title. Oh, it's part of the Divas Revolution because the Divas Revolution has stories. Okay, man, sounds like Raw's gonna be great. I'm gonna go watch it. I guess I'm doing a review. Later. What's going on, everybody? It's your buddy, it's your pal Spaz Phoenix, the YWC Reality Check, here with your August 31st Raw review. And all kidding aside, guys, I did take a couple weeks off of doing the Raw reviews because I was doing some other things. I was doing some topical videos. That might be a thing going forward. I might review like every other Raw and do some other topical videos. There's some retarded wrestling fans out there that are giving us a lot to talk about, and that's going to come later on in the week. So Raw review every week might be a little bit more staggered. This Raw was great, though. I knew going in that it was going to be great. I knew I would have to come up and talk about it because there's way too much in this show to not talk about. And we're building towards Night of Champions. Most of the title matches are already set. And, I mean, that is the... Sorry, guys. Itchy nose, as usual. Running out of breath, as usual. All the title matches are pretty much set, except for the tag division. I'm sure that's going to be arranged sometime soon. We started off Raw with the announcement that we're going to get Ryback versus Big Show tonight on Raw. Every great show has a dark lining, I guess. Ambrose versus Strowman in Strowman's debut, which is great. The Divas Beat the Clock Challenge, and the Dudleys versus The New Day. We start off the show, on top of all that, with Sting. I will say it's great to see Sting. I will say that it is great to see Sting, despite the fact that, oh god, his music still sucks. I mean, they did something cool with it at WrestleMania, but it doesn't change the fact that his music sucks. Like, sucks a large one. Comes out, he talks about WrestleMania, talks about his match versus Triple H, talks about, regardless of, you know, anything that's happened, he respects Triple H, but Rollins is no Triple H. Rollins is good, but he's no Triple H, and this sets out the thing for the night. It talks about the one title he's never held in his illustrious career as the WWE Championship. At Night of Champions, we're going to close that chapter, and he's going to grab the one, you know, the one prize that he's never had. He says, you're not the man, you're just a little boy, and you expect there to be a run-in or an interruption or whatever, but that's just the end of the segment. I wanted the segment to go farther, but the upside of there being no interruption is the segment only lasted about 10 minutes. There was no Authority, there was no John Cena. We'll get there later on. Ziggler with Lana versus Rusev with Summer, rematch from SummerSlam. This is something that happens more than once tonight, and it's fine. Ziggler's pants. Can we talk about Ziggler's pants for a second? Bret Hart, wannabe pants, etc. But more to the point, can we talk about how fucking hot Lana is? It's just there, and it's just good. Anyways, start off the match with a toss by Rusev, and Ziggler tries for a leg and gets tossed again. Dropkick by Rusev, and dropkick by Rusev, and Rusev bails out of the ring. Boots in a mud hole stomp by Rusev, followed by a super kick. Rusev rides a headlock and gets some stomps in there. The crowd makes me actually smile a little bit, because very Cena-esque, they get a "Let's go Rusev, Rusev sucks" chant, which I think is great. Jawjacker by Ziggler and a snake eyes by Rusev. Ziggler-style multiple elbows by Rusev is a nice little touch. Sleeper by Ziggler, and Rusev powers out. Ziggler eats guardrail off the apron. He gets tackled off the apron and basically does the Dolph Ziggler ragdoll spiel into the guardrail as we go into the commercial break. As we come back from the commercial break, we see Rusev missing a running splash. Oh yes. Trading punches and a knockdown and a bear hug by Rusev. A kitchen sink and a ragdoll in the corner by Rusev. That wicked, overblown jumping DDT that Ziggler does is great, along with some running elbows. Salcido suplex and a running senton by Rusev is impressive for the big guy. I have to say, like, it's not perfect, it's not always pretty, but like the running rolling senton that he does is great, and the Salcido suplex is just friggin', like, it's beast. It's like watching Cesaro do anything. We will get into that later in the night. Leg lariat. Why is my phone doing things? You know, I had my phone call. You guys saw me have my phone call. I don't need my phone anymore. Leg lariat by Rusev and a super kick by Ziggler. Rusev bails, Ziggler follows, and they brawl! That's what people do on the outside of the ring, obviously. Ziggler eats the steps, Rusev eats the steps. Ziggler eats the steps, Rusev spears the steps, and there's a count. And we think it's going to be a repeat of SummerSlam, but no, both of them get in by the 9 count. Ziggler blocks the accolade, Rusev blocks the super kick, but he's not able to block the zigzag. Ziggler gets the win, or not, because Summer Rae runs in. We get a catfight. Ziggler wins by disqualification. This will perpetuate throughout the night. Beat the Clock Challenge. Here's the deal. Because Team PCB... Here's a continuous storyline, guys. You know, that phantom, that unicorn that doesn't exist in the Divas Revolution, except it does. Because the story going out of pay-per-view just past SummerSlam, there we go. Got there eventually. Team PCB won the 3-on-3-on-3 match, and Stephanie McMahon did say that the winner of that match would reap the rewards. I can speak, I swear. So all the members of Team PCB are going to have matches tonight. You know, you guys know how the Beat the Clock thing works. Whoever wins their match in the fastest time, Rod, they get the title shot. And it's Paige, it's Becky, and it's Charlotte. Throw Sasha into the mix, and you can't really lose as far as fan bias and opinion goes. Alicia Fox versus Becky Lynch is the first. The only downside to this is the whole point of Beat the Clock is speed. And when the one war that we really have won against the WWE is getting longer Divas matches, this is sort of counterculture to that. But for one night, it makes sense. For one night, if you actually follow the story of a Beat the Clock stipulation, it does make sense. It does make sense, I promise you. As much as you don't want it to, if you're depending on Rage for views, it does make sense. Alicia Fox and Becky Lynch is the first match. Quick roll-up by Becky, snapmare by Fox. Pinning reversal sequence lasts a little bit. A bridging armbar by Becky is something I haven't quite seen before, done the way she did it. Big boot by Fox and a Beal by the hair. Fox chokes on the ropes. That's because my writing sucks, guys. You know this. Dropkick, and Fox rides a headlock to remind us that she's a bad guy. You guys know the heels in WWE. They're always there to help you out. If you forget that they're bad guys, they'll throw in a headlock or a chinlock. Or occasionally a sleeper, but then you've got the Ziggler sleeper, and, you know, that's how that goes. Snapmare, elbows, uppercuts, and a rolling clothesline, all by Becky. Leg lariat by Becky and an exploder suplex. A pinning attempt by Alicia Fox is reversed into the disarmer, which is a fucking beautiful move, and Becky gets the win, and the time to beat is 3 minutes and 21 seconds. There's a Ryback interview in the back about his match with Big Show tonight that nobody's excited about, but the bigger picture is Ziggler going into his change room and Summer Rae following him. I haven't taken any more notes on this. Basically what happens is, in another segment, we see Summer Rae running out of the change room there. Dolph Ziggler, you know, there with a towel and not much else, looking all, what happened? And it's like, oh, okay, he's so screwed. Basically, what ends up happening later on in another interview is Summer Rae tells everybody that Ziggler invited her in, that she saw him completely naked, that she was stunned and amazed and infatuated, and removed herself from the situation out of respect for Rusev. Lana is obviously distraught by this, and they're going to settle their problems like any couple does on SmackDown on Miz TV. Oh yes. See, have to be careful how I say this, or else I'm going to get chewed, not only by wrestling fans, but by feminists as well. Lana and Summer Rae are not meant to be wrestlers in this scenario. They are arm candy. I'm not saying that Summer Rae's not a wrestler. I like her as a wrestler. I'm interested to see what Lana can do as a wrestler, but in their respective roles right now, they are arm candy. They are valets. They are sidecars to the main story. So for them to do a little bit of catfighty, you know, Days of Our Lives bullshit with these two girls doesn't bother me, because it means maybe they're not going to do it with the, I don't want to say the actual divas, but it is the actual divas that are actually wrestling and actually trying to be champions. We need that separation. We need the Trish Stratuses to be separated from the Miss Elizabeths. Miss Elizabeth, awesome. Trish Stratus, awesome. Different roles, and these two have distinguished themselves in that valet role. They haven't. I don't remember the last time I saw Summer Rae wrestle, to be quite honest, which is shitty because I would like to see her wrestle, but I like that they have determined and they have made the distinction that she is not a wrestler at the moment. It's good. It makes like I say, the stupid little drama shit that they've got going on a little more okay, because it's not interfering in an actual female match, if that makes any sense at all. It's going to be a clusterfuck on Miz TV, isn't it? It's going to be like, it's going to end up, I swear to God, on SmackDown. I'm predicting this right now. There's going to be Miz TV. There's going to be a lot of interruptions. Big Show and Ryback are going to interfere. We're going to get Ziggler and Ryback versus Miz and the Big Show. It's going to be my favorite team of Zigback taking on the reunited Show Miz. That is my prediction for Wednesday night on SmackDown, or Thursday night as it is for my friends in the States. Anyways, that is a long ramble about a potential catfight, is it not? Going on, we have Ryback versus the Big Show, and like I say, every show has its dark spot. This match was boring as hell. I spent this entire match listening to Miz on commentary. This was for the Intercontinental Championship, guys. Show grabs a mic in the middle of the match while the crowd is chanting, "Please retire," to yell at the fans, which got a little bit of a laugh out of me. One good spot was Ryback tossing Big Show off the top rope. It was mildly impressive. It looked awkward on the landing, but look at the size of Big Show. I can forgive that. The match sucks, and as it always is with these three, Miz distracts, Ryback gets the win. Nothing to write home about. This is slowly killing the Intercontinental Championship, if I'm completely honest with you. Charlotte versus Brie Bella. Again, should be good, but time constraints and rah. Cheap shot and run by Brie. A lot. Brie bails out of the ring. A lot. A knockdown on the outside by Brie. Charlotte tries for the figure eight. A lot. Gives up on the figure eight, hits natural selection, and gets the win in 1 minute and 40 seconds. JBL has a great quote here, because you figure all of these girls that are on Team Bella, be it Alicia Fox or Brie, want to take her past the time limit. That's cool, that's good, that's protecting Nikki to a certain degree, but Becky Lynch has already set a time to beat. So even if they keep the other two from winning, she still has to defend against Becky Lynch. So the logic is a little skewed, but JBL's line at the end of this match was Brie was so focused on stalling she forgot to fight. And as shitty as it is, because I'm one of the only people left sticking up for the Bellas, it's really true, because it's just all she did was run, and all Charlotte did was try stuff and fail, and natural selection. There was one successful move hit in this match, and that was natural selection, or bow down to the queen, whichever one you want to call it. Just continues the pattern of the Bellas constantly jobbing to the young up-and-coming talent, even though they will never ever get the credit for it, which is really, really sad. Cesaro versus Owens is happening again for reasons, and I'm sure nobody minds. This is the exception to that rule. Multiple uppercuts by Cesaro into the corner. Both men trade punches, a boot, and a stalling vertical suplex by Cesaro, which on a guy the size of Owens is fucking phenomenal, isn't it? Cesaro hits a double foot stomp. Both men trade chops, punches, and knockdowns. Owens bails. Cesaro uppercuts him into the rail. It's a great little spot. I'm not doing it justice. Basically, Owens bails to catch his breath. Cesaro comes around runs a lap around the ring, hits him with an uppercut right into the guardrail. It's a nice, like I say, it's a good little thing. Top rope crossbody by Cesaro rather. By Owens would be scary. Running senton by Owens, and they brawl in the corner. Corner clotheslines and a bowling ball by Owens. Owens rides a headlock. Like I say before, the heels in WWE, they're great. Here's a headlock. I'm the bad guy. It's great. Cesaro eats post and then eats a TKO by Owens. Commercial break. Da 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 da. Bing. Cesaro dropkicks Owens off the top rope, which is great. Cesaro hits he doesn't do the deadlift from the apron like he usually does, but he does manage to hit a pretty nice looking top rope gut wrench superplex. It looks like an avalanche of humanity coming down off the top rope. It's good. Pillar to post uppercuts by Cesaro, followed up by a slam. Super kick by Owens, and he misses the cannonball. They start trading punches again. Crossface by Cesaro, which is that ongoing thing of him paying homage to Tyson Kidd by constantly using Canadian or stereotypically Canadian moves like the crossface, like the sharpshooter. It's a good little thing. It keeps Tyson Kidd in all of our heads. He's got the armband with Kidd and the Canadian flag next to the Swiss flag. It's good. It's a good story. Either they're going to come back, they're going to be a team, or Tyson Kidd's going to turn heel and he's going to resent it. Whatever. We'll see where it goes. When it gets there, Hangman by Owens launches Cesaro off the apron. He launches Cesaro off the apron, ribs first into the announce desk. Cesaro waves off the referee, says he can still fight, tries for the swing. His insides are saying not a fucking chance. Owens hits him with this is fucking brilliant. It's a little thing, and probably people didn't appreciate it or get as excited about it as I did. He just fucked up his ribs. So yeah, hit a super kick because it's one of the moves in your arsenal. But if his ribs are injured, hit a super kick to the ribs. And that's exactly what he does. Follows it up with the pop-up powerbomb, and Owens gets the win. If these guys go one more round at Night of Champions and they finally decide to call it a #1 contenders match, I will be a happy, happy boy. Braun Strowman, which is a really awkward name, and I really hope they change it, but whatever, versus Dean Ambrose. There's a lot of promo. I don't have to tell you guys how great Bray Wyatt is, and I'm not going to quote Bray Wyatt like I tried to before his match against The Undertaker. I'm just not going to do it, because I have more respect for his promo ability than that, and I know that I couldn't reproduce it to save my damn life. But there's a lot of good promo, and Braun Strowman finally speaks and says, this isn't the beginning of anything, this is the end of everything, it's the apocalypse. And then he proceeds to lick his lips, which really looks like he's trying to pick his own nose. So maybe we back up the close-up just a little bit. I've heard a lot of people say, and it's kind of true, Braun Strowman kind of looks like if you go into WWE 2K15, try to create Bray Wyatt, but you get the dimensions all wrong. And that's not a bad thing per se, because it means he's taken on the aura of the rest of the Wyatt family members, but it's just a funny little thought, and it's a funny little thought that I've seen basically everywhere. He's a fucking monster. So, of course, they need somebody to go in there and make him look good. Dolph Ziggler's already worked for the night, so they bring in Dean Ambrose. And you know Dean Ambrose is going to get slaughtered. Like, that's a thing. Shoulder tackle by Braun. He tosses him across the ring twice. Basically puts one hand under his armpit and throws him across the ring. Boots and punches and chops by Ambrose as he tries to mount some sort of comeback. Braun grabs him by the face. He did this to Roman Reigns last week, too. I picked a bad week last week to not do a review. For a bunch of reasons. But he doesn't, like, you figure in a fight, you know, the typical, because we've seen so many Undertaker, Big Show, Kane, other people like that matches, you're going to grab somebody, you're going to grab them by the throat, but he actually grabs them by the face and the jaw. It's a little different, which makes it stick out, makes it seem a little bit more gritty or whatever. Grabs him by the face just to keep him in position to boot him out of the ring. Braun mauls Ambrose on the outside, and there's no other word for pressing. He doesn't smack him into the guardrail. He doesn't, like, you know, throw his head into the post. He puts his head on the guardrail and just pushes down on it, basically vice gripping Dean Ambrose's head, which is great. Braun, in the process, punks out Roman Reigns, who's obviously in Ambrose's corner. Roman jumps in, they brawl. Obviously, Strowman wins by disqualification. Strowman owns both of them for a while, and the commentary did great to point this out. The Wyatt family have always, you know, in the last little while, they've survived by the numbers. So you figure the Wyatt family would jump in immediately now that there's not a match happening anymore. Wyatt and Harper, up until the very end, stay up on the ramp, just smiling and laughing and whatever, because these guys, and again, I gotta give full credit to the commentary on this, they point out a lot. These guys are 2/3 of the Shield that run rampant all over Raw for like a year almost, and they're being dismantled single-handedly by this new guy. And he's just ragdolling them all over the shop. Ambrose, this was fucking great. When they finally get into the ring and Strowman has Roman down. Strowman has Roman down. Ambrose comes in with a chair, hits him in the back. And anybody that's ever seen a match with a giant knows how this goes. You hit him in the back. They just sort of, like, straighten their back up a little bit and smile. They turn around. But the oh fucking shit look on Dean Ambrose's face was fucking priceless. Braun chokes out Ambrose while Harper finally gets in the ring and super kicks Roman. Braun then picks up the limp, lifeless body of Roman Reigns and throws it into Bray Wyatt's sister Abigail to end the segment. This was an amazing way to debut this guy. I'm not going to say it's the best. I'm not going to say he's, oh my god, he's going to be world champion next week. But as the muscle, as the new muscle of this group, this was a fantastic way to debut. He's the wrestling equivalent of somebody like Juggernaut, and that's exactly what he did. You know, they could have dominated with the numbers, but they let this guy just go in and play with Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose, and it was fucking great. Paige versus Sasha Banks. I mean, the time to beat in the Beat the Clock Challenge is 1:60, so it's not going to be much. Spear by Paige, mudhole by Sasha, a pinning reversal sequence that lasts quite a long time, a running knee in the corner and a running knee in the center of the ring by Paige. Paige counters something that Sasha tries to do into the Rampage right when the clock's counting down, but Tamina and Naomi are on the outside. They pull their team bad teammate out as the clock runs out. Paige's heart gets broken. Charlotte is your #1 contender, proving once again that nothing good happens when Naomi is around. Let's be fucking real. In all reality, though, we're going to get what everybody really seems to want is the WWE versus NXT dream match of Nikki Bella versus Charlotte Flair. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to explain it once, and you guys, those of you who know who I'm talking about, can say whatever you want about this after this. I have immense respect for Charlotte. I really do. I hope she doesn't win. I hope she doesn't win because the story, the snowball of the new generation of divas is just getting started. And you don't want to Sheamus her. You don't want to Ryback her. You don't want to, you know, anybody else that's been given a title too soon. Because it's one of those, okay, you're the best, we gave you the belt, and what do you do now? I want her to have a bit of struggle. I want her to... I don't want Nikki Bella to beat her clean, don't get me wrong. Do some stupid thing where Paige and Becky can't be there. Team Bella friggin' destroys her 3-on-1 or some shit like that. Maybe by Survivor Series, let her get the win on the bigger stage. Let her develop more sympathy. Let her develop more of an individual story between her and Nikki rather than just, oh, my team doesn't like your team. I want Charlotte to be successful. I don't want her to win at Night of Champions. Now, those of you out there, and you know who you are, that are going to twist all that around and say that I'm hating on NXT and I'm just being a friggin' Bella whatever, open forum. Twist it, turn it, take what I've actually said and make it into whatever you want. But it doesn't do enough good for Charlotte to win the belt right now. That's all I'm going to say. New Day versus the Dudley Boys. Yeah, like I say, last week chose a really bad week to not review Raw, but the Dudleys came back. Yay! I really wish that they would just let Bully Ray, or not, you can't be Bully Ray because I guess TNA owns the name, but let him come in as the badass. You've gone back to the camel, you've gone back to the lensless glasses, and even by the time they left the WWE, they didn't have the lensless glasses, and they were a little bit out of that gimmick, but these are just minor things. It's great to see the Dudley Boys back. They demolished the Ascension on SmackDown. So when they were saying on Raw, it's the first time they fought on WWE in 10 years, they're a little full of shit. But I guess even WWE knows nobody watches SmackDown except me and the fights on Wednesday night. Anyways, New Day come out with their... New Day are the fucking funniest shit on Raw. I'm sorry. Xavier Woods with his fucking lion mane fucking sitting there. Primetime players sitting there on commentary talking about how nobody's happy because his hair is nappy and all that other shit. They're on their Save the Tables campaign, and they're trying to get everybody on their side because, you know, the Dudley Boys are table poachers, which is fucking wonderful. It's so corny that it's fucking wonderful. They start talking about, you know, you remember when you were a kid and you liked tables, remember the Thanksgiving dinner table, remember the pool table, remember your periodic tables, your multiplication tables, you know, and it's just, I can't, like, again, it's like the Wyatt thing, it's not comedy that I can recreate, but it's fucking great, and Xavier Woods on the outside while these guys are having their matches, just fucking great. Devon and Big E start with the collar and elbow tie-up, side headlock by Devon, and a shoulder tackle. Devon tosses Kofi, and there's a huge clothesline by Bubba. Big New Day sandwich in the corner. You know, New Day in the corner. Bully Ray squashes them. Friggin' Devon squashes them. Bully Ray squashes them again. Oh yes. New Day is tossed out of the ring. Dudley stand tall as we go to the commercial break. We come back from the commercial break. Big E and Devon are trading punches. Devon clotheslines Kofi and Big E. Friggin' Devon. Okay, Bubba Ray is a big dude, but because he is the bigger guy on the team, Devon doesn't really get the credit. He's a big fucking dude too. Double clothesline, looking like his shoulders are two fucking bowling balls going through those guys. The what is becoming the cliched New Day rotating multiple tag mud hole in that team's corner is always a good thing. It's always something I like. Running splash by Big E and on an abdominal stretch. Big E hits an elbow, and Xavier Woods goes mental, telling us about the tricep meat. There's a Monday night sale on tricep meat. It's fucking great. Headlock by Kofi and a trip hot tag to Bubba, who kills Kofi Kingston for a while. Bubba Ray does the flip-flop and fly elbow to Big E. They try for the was up, which Kofi interrupts to the boos of everybody, but he gets a 3D for his trouble, and Dudley's obviously get the win. The commentators really push hard the fact that if you beat the champions, you become the #1 contenders. But the primetime players are sitting there saying that, you know, you can say whatever you want. These guys aren't going to step on our toes. We still have a rematch clause. So my prediction, and it's not going too far out on a limb, is that we're going to get a triple threat match, New Day versus primetime players versus the Dudleys at Night of Champions. And that doesn't hurt my feelings at all. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Rollins comes out to call out Sting, because Sting still has his stuff. I didn't write any notes for this, but basically here's the crib notes. He goes out there and he responds to Sting saying that Triple H is better than him. He comes out, putting his foot in his mouth good and hard, saying that he's better than Triple H was great in his day, but I'm as good, if not better, than Triple H. Stephanie comes out and tells him to stop tripping on his words, stop talking about her husband, stop getting excited, Sting's playing into your own head, you know, stay with your eyes on the prize, you know, defend your title. Even though she says stay with the eyes on the prize, defend your title, worry about your match at Night of Champions, Seth Rollins still demanding that Sting come out, bring back his statue. We don't get Sting. We get Cena. Oh my god, Cena's in the main event segment. Here's my thing, guys, and you guys are, some of you are so fucking nuts, you're making me defend John Cena, which is never a good thing. This 5 minutes at the end of the show was the only time we saw John Cena tonight. When was the last time we could really say that? Cena comes out, makes a joke of it, says the Authority don't really have his back. The Authority were the ones that said every title is going to be defended at Night of Champions, and you knew this was coming. You knew it from a mile away. You knew it from the minute that he won the title, because John Cena has a rematch clause. And he says, you know, if the Authority really had your back, they're not going to do what I'm going to make them do and make them give me a rematch at Night of Champions. But Stephanie, tell him your answer. And Stephanie just kind of sheepishly in the corner says, yeah, you've got your match. Rollins loses his shit. Cena walks up the rampway. Sting comes out. The two of them are staring Rollins down from the top of the ramp. He's losing his shit in the ring, and that's how we go off the air. Here we go. Here is what I'm going to lay out for you guys. Okay, the Intercontinental Championship is a shambles because it's being fought between two goofballs right now. I'll give you that. But you've got Charlotte versus Nikki at Night of Champions. You've got Cena versus Rollins, and then Sting versus Rollins. And then the Dudleys and New Day and maybe Primetime Players for the tag titles. That's what we've got so far. I'm really, really, really convinced we're going to get Sasha Banks versus Paige in another number one contender type match at Night of Champions, if not on the pre-show. I'm pretty sure we're going to get Owens versus Cesaro again, which is not a problem at all. That could be a number one contendership for the world title, if they want to do that. We're going to get something between Ziggler and Rusev again. We might finally get the mixed tag we thought we were going to get at SummerSlam. This was a great show. There was a lot of great matches. There was a lot of great matches on the show itself, and there was a lot to make us look forward to the matches that we're getting in the future. Seth Rollins is really in the fucking catbird seat right now, isn't he? I mean, having the US title, let's be real, doesn't really give him anything extra other than just say that he's the first person to ever do that. But he's going to work double duty at Night of Champions. So I figure they're going to give the title back to John Cena, and that's fine. If you can say that you took a beating from John Cena and then went on to defend your world title successfully against a legend like Sting after taking that beating from John Cena, that's better than holding two belts. I'm sorry. Like, maybe that's just my opinion. Maybe that's my optimism. Maybe that's my extreme want for better things for Seth Rollins, who I've kind of... I don't want to be the cliche machine that I am, but Seth Rollins is the ultimate NXT success story, right? You want NXT to be a success. The biggest product coming out of NXT right now is Seth Rollins. It's not Roman Reigns like you were all afraid of. It's not Neville or the Divas Revolution or whatever like that. All due respect to all those people. The biggest success story coming out of NXT right now is Seth Rollins. First ever NXT champion. Came up with the Shield. How successful was the Shield? He was a tag team champion. He won Money in the Bank. He won the WWE Championship by cashing in on Roman Reigns and Brock freaking Lesnar in the main event of WrestleMania, and then went on to be the first person ever to combine that with the United States Championship. Now he's going to go on to Night of Champions and work double duty, which in recent memory has only really been done at the Rumble, if somebody's got a match and then they're in the Rumble, or individually when... who was it? When Dolph Ziggler was the US and the tag team champion. It's good. It's a good bit of shit right there. You got Charlotte as the number one contender for the Divas Championship, which is, I'm sure, what most people want. You all know that I would have loved for it to be Becky. Just something about Becky. I mean, we can default to Paige because I'm a big Paige fan. You guys know that. But something about Becky, like I recognize that Charlotte is fucking phenomenal. Sasha is a great heel. Paige already, has sopped up a good amount of my fandom. I do have a respect for the Bellas, which most people don't. But there's something about Becky Lynch, and I really, really, really want to see her on top. But that's just me. Before I go, I will say, it's a couple weeks out now, but if you guys haven't seen it yet, you can check out myself and Kristen over on the Wrestle Recap podcast. I was a guest with her. We talked all about... The fuck was it called? Oh yeah, Takeover Brooklyn. So go to soundcloud.com/ either Wrestle Recap or The Wrestle Recap. The link is in the box below, but it's soundcloud.com, Wrestle Recap. That was a lot of fun. Hope to do that with her again, or them again, or whatever. Already, I've had the Q&A up maybe 4 days for August Ask the Phoenix. You guys have already come back to me with like 30 or 40 questions for September. I encourage you, as I always do, if you've never asked me a question for Ask the Phoenix, go back to that video. Toss your questions down in the box below. There's a lot of people there that throw out 20 or 30 questions. If all you have is one, throw me that one question. One is as good as 30, is as good as Zohan sending me 100. That's a thing, and that is your Raw review for August 31st, 2015. I hope you guys get why I'm not reviewing Raw every week. It's not because I'm liking the show any less. It's because I'm liking it more. And honestly, as much as I love coming up here to talk to you guys, there is something to be said for me putting this down, putting the pen down, and just soaking up the show. I hope you guys understand that. The weeks that I don't do Raw reviews, if I don't do Raw reviews every week going forward, there will be other topics. Like, I'm going to be doing other topics this week. They're not the most positive topics in the world, but they are coming. The fights on Wednesday night will resume this Wednesday, and we're going to go forward from there as we get closer to Night of Champions. I'm excited about Night of Champions. I want to know if you are excited about Night of Champions. Let me know down in the box below, or as my buddy OK Fabe would say, down in my crotch. I've been Spaz, your YWC Reality Check. Subscribe up there, talk down there, start a conversation, keep all these conversations going. Don't be a stranger. I will talk to each and every last one of you later, but for right now, guys, I'm tagging out and I'm going to bed. Bye.
Like me, don't